Hello everyone. Sai here. Thank you so much for joining me for another Craft Roulette submission. This is for episode 138. And I've put the parameters there in the top right-hand corner, and they are window, the color needs to be red, yellow plus one, element November, and random 3 circles. So start off, I've created a mask using my Cricut. I don't actually have a stencil that has a rectangle like this, nor do I have thick masking tape or masking tape, I guess, that would cover the sides. So I decided to just use the Cricut and create my own on some acetate. The colors I'm going to be using are from Pinkfresh, and they are, I believe, candy apple, sweet mustard, and star glazer. Gazer. Not glazer, gazer. Really nice colors. I decided to go for a really dark blue, uh, just just for some interest. I'm going to start with the dark blue in the top there, and I'm going to use a very light hand. I'm going to it's very, I sped it up, but it is very light at first, and then I just keep adding and going a little bit stronger near the end. You want to try to make it as smooth as possible. I will be covering a lot of this with some elements, so it won't be too bad. But yeah, if you were to actually have a wide open space, you try to start light just so that you limit the amount of dark splotches. For example, if you look at the blue, you can see in the top left that I have a little bit darker than the rest of it. When I'm using the ink, I am going clockwise and counterclockwise just to make sure that I get all the different angles. And before I switch to the third color, I will go over with the blue again just to kind of smooth out the, the transition between the blue and the red. Once I take the yellow, yellow is a little bit easier. I find that you can go bright and you don't see blotches, at least this color. It's pretty good for that. So I went a little bit heavier with this one. But once I get a nice bright color, I'm going to go back with the red and just go over the in between the two, just to smooth it out. And that might create a little bit of an orange, but not too bad. So the elements I'm going to be using are these leaves from Kat Scrappiness. I decided to take the small ones of the 3 designs, and I cut them in some scrap pieces of paper, 2 in yellow and 1 in red. They are just recollection cardstock that I got from Michael's. I didn't need to do anything fancy for these because I don't want too much thickness for what I'm planning to do with them. And then I am going to add a little bit of just vintage photo around all the different colors just so that the leaves aren't as bright. Didn't really need it for the red, but because I already was doing it for the yellow, I just want to keep it the same. For the sentiment, this is a Spellbinders stamp that I got from one of the card kits, and it says a whole sentiment of thanks so much for sweet neighbors like you, but I only wanted the so thankful part of it. So I've taken my ink and just masked off the bottom and inked the top. And I try my best to center that underneath my gradient. Now to start putting the card together, I'm going to take my leaf elements and kind of lay them in a spot that I want, because I'm going to be setting a window frame on top of them. So I just wanted to see what it would kind of look like so that when I'm ready to put the window down, I can just glue it. I did want a little bit of thickness, so I've cut 2 of these and just glued them together. I don't actually have a window die, so I did need to use my Cricut to create this one. Once I'm happy with the placement of the leaves and my windows are together, I'm going to carefully glue the glue sections of the window, and I'm going to prop the leaves on ever so slightly, just so that they catch on the glue, and then I'm going to grab the next one and do the same thing. I'm going to glue the whole thing down, but I didn't want to add any liquid to the background in case I don't cover it. So I was just being very careful with that. And so I just figured this was the easiest way to do it. at least that was for my case. Sometimes I do make a little bit, I make things a little more difficult than they need to be sometimes. Now it's time to glue everything down, and I'm just going to cover everything. And I should have trimmed this first. I realized just before I was about to glue it down, so I'm glad I caught it, because you wouldn't be able to easily pick that up and reposition it. But I wanted to trim off all the excess because I want those leaves to look like they're outside, just falling in front of this twilight night sunset outside the door. Sorry, outside the window. Next, I'm going to prop this up because I am using white on white. It is a very nice way of displaying it when you can lift it up a bit. I'm using my U-line foam tape because it's a little bit thinner than all the other tape that I have. And this will actually just give it just a nice little shadow of depth from the base of the card. I did debate if I wanted my design to be a little bit smaller, but I did stay with the 4 inches by 5 1/4. Next, I'm going to add some gems, and these are going to classify as my 3 circles. These are, I believe I got them from a Crop and Create class earlier this year in March, I believe, and they were from Spellbinders. It's really funny because when I got these the first time, the gems just fell. Like, I haven't used it yet. This is the first time using them, but all the gems kept falling off. However, when I'm recording it, I could not get those little guys off. They just were stuck so well. I had myself chuckling a little bit just because I couldn't believe that they would just flake off so easily until the time I actually needed to use them. I did kind of cut, you'll see kind of transitioning. It's just because I was taking a little bit longer than I wanted to, just to add some pretty little gems. I do like them. They are a really beautiful blue gem. And I'm just going to put 3 in the corner there and 2 on the top. And that's it. That is the card that I've created for episode 138. I should say something about Craft Roulette. It is a very awesome service program, whatever you would like to call it. And every week they will randomly pick 4 parameters, and they are the project, color, elements, and random. And then everyone has up to Sunday, or if you're a patron, longer time, to create a card that matches this to submit it, which then you have chances to win really fun prizes. I can't say enough. Every time I create a video, I say the same thing. I love it. The host is, or hostess, sorry, is amazing, and I thoroughly enjoy myself when I actually get around to having some free time to create it. They also have a Facebook group that you can share your work there and just be praised with the most kind, beautiful people. It's very nice, and you get to see what other people are creating as well. Of course, craftroulette.live is the other place to see all the work. I do hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it's created some inspiration. Get out there and make some inky backgrounds, or maybe it's inspired you to go outside and enjoy playing in the leaves like we once did as children. Either way, I do hope you have a beautiful, awesome week, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.